I'm just going to do a bit of routine maintenance today. This is seems to have fallen down. I don't know. I had timber struts going across all the way down, sort of like ribs, I guess, and I've screwed and nailed and glued to those. So one's just come down. Everything else seems fine, but I'm just going to check it out. Maybe the glue hasn't held. I'm not really sure. I did a lot of testing before just to make sure I didn't have to do this. But I've got to do this on just one bit, so we're going to do that. But what I'm going to do is I potentially going to put an awning, got an awning off the side already. Going to do an awning out the back, have it over the top here, have it come out so that it's covering the back doors there, so we can get a bit of shade, because invariably this is where the sun is for some reason. What else? My shower head. I've lost the rubber around here, so I just made up a bit of a rubber O-ring or grommet, or whatever you want to call it. Now I can use that without water just wasting and dribbling away everywhere, squirting. What else? I got a label maker for my birthday, and I'm going to label all my electrics, because the fuse panel, I've got just a bit of cardboard at the moment, and it's got what everything's on it for. So I'm just going to make that a bit more official, a bit more professional as well. Let's get into it, eh? Boom. I decided that I'd found the stud, and I just put a washer on it, but pretty obviously that's not very waterproof, so I'm happy with that. For now I'm just going to put a dot of Sika over the top of it, but I'm just going to call this proof of concept. What I really want to do was just make sure it was going to hold that ceiling up properly. I'm going to incorporate a bracket across here for the awning, so not really sure how that looks. I'm not really sure what bracket system it's going to come with. It's going to be a Fiamma, just like the other one. But until I get that, I'm just gonna be waterproof that, and we'll be good, I reckon. We'll just wait until we get the awning.
I cleaned up the surface with acetone first and put a nice big thick bead of Sika on, and then of course you might as well have a look, because if you don't have a look you can't see whether it's actually bonding or not.
Oh, yeah. Using one of these flexible sort of semi-hard, semi-soft rubber mats. Just gives a bit of flex. If you're at all interested, got these glasses at Bunnings on sale on $16, I think. DeWalt, man, I love them. They fit so good. They're really sort of soft, almost like snorkeling or scuba diving mask.
Getting the amount of sounding right is pretty important. So if it's a screw hole or a nail hole, all you're really doing is looking for is just the screw hole or the nail hole having the filler in it. Everything else around it should be smooth. There should be no additional filler sort of around the hole. Now it stops to do your prep, so get in there, clean it up, make sure there's not dust and stuff stopping your paint from sticking. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that you've got to do your prep. You've got to clean it up, make sure that there's no dust sticking to any of those surfaces. You don't want your paint just flaking off.
Do yourself a massive solid and just mark where the paint's for, and by that I don't mean poo your pants. It's 36 degrees outside today. It's so stinking hot. Right, I think I might have put a bit too much paint on there. It's the same paint. It's the same paint color and the same paint. It's the same tin. So still not a bad idea just to sort of blend it in like that. Don't really want to have any hard lines. It just helps to disguise it. Same goes when you're using an aerosol as well. Alright, first coat.
Hands up if you recognise this technique of cleaning vis-a-vis moving an item from an inconvenient place to a slightly less inconvenient place.
So injuries happen, right? But about the last thing you'd expect to get injured on while you're working on your van is from your tripod. Crazy.
Putting down a drop sheet won't make you a great painter, but it will stop you from getting in trouble, and that is value right there.
I started off with very high hopes of having really tidy electricals, but as you can see, the more things you add in, it just gets really hard to have everything super organized. In hindsight, probably would have gone DC to DC battery charger, and with the solar MPPT controller, get one of those combined, and also the inverter, the Renogy inverter, and I've got a Dometic battery charger. You get one of those combined as well, and straight away you halve your wires, you halve your space required. So that's probably what I'll do next time, if there's a next time. In the meantime, however, my fuse board is unlabeled at the moment. That's it. I've just got a bit of cardboard with everything written on it, so I've just been waiting to get a label maker, and I've got one, so we're going to fire it up and we're going to make some labels. It's going to be so exciting. It came with a whole bunch of instructions, but it's pretty straightforward. Put the batteries in, turn it on, type in your letters, hit print. It asks you if you're sure you want to print it, hit OK, and out comes that. Pretty good, pretty happy with that. Let's see how easy it is hard to peel this off. That's okay, that's half of it. Okay, alright. Oh damn. Well, you know what, that's good enough for me. Yeah, it's good enough for me anyway. That'll do. Let's go. Oh, what the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, there was something about doing a 2-line one. Oh yeah, I think it was that. What maybe? Let's try that. Print, copies 1. I shall. Happy to do so, in fact. And cut. Oh man, how cool is that? Just played around with it until I got the text sizing and stuff right. Last one there is fridge 15 amp. It really only needs a 10 amp fuse, but for some reason the Glacier fridge just seems to have a massive draw every now and then. Probably every month it would just sort of trip for some reason. So I've got got my 15 amp. Got my 15 amp there because that's a little bit hard to get to, and I've got my 10 amp there, so that turns the fridge off and on. If it's going to trip, it's going to trip at the 10 first, and that's just a lot easier. I thought I'd just take care of a few other things while I had it. Shore power to inverter, and shore power to the Dometic charger. What else we got? We've got the inverter, 250 amp. We've got the feed from the batteries to the fuse block, and we've got the DC to DC 50 amp trip switch as well. That's pretty much it. Good job, well done. Nice to tidy things up a bit, even though that's not overly tidy, but maybe that's just a job for another day. Wow, I can see myself in the screen. That's a shocker. As much as just doing little day-to-day chores isn't the most fun thing in the world, it's got to be done. And everything I do, like labeling electrics and just fixing up a bit of paint there on the ceiling, everything you do just makes it a little bit better. And Teresa's pretty keen to get in and clean it all up. So that's me out for the week, I reckon. Next week going to pop up on the roof, and we're going to have a look at solar panel layout with Renogy. We're going to look at the ceiling fan and the roof rack, probably more about the roof rack than anything. I made it myself, and we'll cover it in a fair bit more detail next video. See ya, bye.